When discussing the topic of homosexuality, most people quickly identify some sort of problem. For some, homosexuality is the problem, because the Bible says it's wrong. For others, the discrimination against homosexuals is the problem, because the Bible says it's wrong. But in reality, the problem is that the Bible has been mistranslated and misrepresented, and nowhere does it actually condemn homosexuals. Yet, all over the world, they are denied rights, they are imprisoned, and sometimes killed because of this idea. It's very important to understand what homosexuals face around the world. This is an American lesbian couple, Chris on the right, her wife Midori on the left. Chris passed away, and because Indiana did not recognize their marriage, Midori is owing Indiana $300,000 in inheritance taxes, which she would have never had to pay were it a husband. So this is Scott Lively. Now, even though in America there are hate crimes, we do have laws that protect some people who are victims of these. Scott Lively doesn't think that should be the case here, so he's been exporting his homophobia. He's also an American. He openly preaches anti-gay sermons. He describes homosexuals as brutish, sociopathic, and when he goes to foreign countries, he tells them that they are after their children. So these countries have panicked, and with his help written lots of anti-gay laws. The two you may have heard the most about would be probably Russia and Uganda. On the right here is an activist named Yuri being detained in Moscow last year. Not a homosexual, just at a parade. And on the left, a man named David, a Ugandan man, did not get so lucky. He was murdered in his home with a hammer after his picture and name and address was printed in a tabloid for being homosexual. I think I'm missing the card. Nope, just kidding, sorry. So, seeing how dangerous this can be, we need to actually take a look and see what the Bible says. It's important to understand the culture and the original languages when we look at the verses. Bruce A. Robinson, founder and author for religioustolerance.org, says here, there is no term that means sexual orientation in the original texts of the Bible, which is absolutely true. In the following slides, you will hear Yancey, PhD, Yancey Smith, a minister and also my uncle, helping to define some of these terms. This slide is from Roy Champa's Translating Sex. He talks about many terms in 1 Corinthians, but we're going to focus on malakos and arsinokites. You can see it says homosexual and sodomites in the Bible. These words actually refer to high-class men, men of authority such as in the military, who exploit people who are either slaves or otherwise not protected by the law. It has nothing to do with sexual orientation whatsoever, but more along the lines of rape.
So yada in Genesis is talking about it means to know, but it's referring to carnal knowledge, sexual knowledge, and it's threatening rape.
I don't know if you recognize where this verse is from. It's from the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. You may have heard of this. It's actually, the sin is inhospitality. This happens after God condemns the city. And it has nothing to do with the genders. This is a mob of men, women, and children. But they are threatening the visitors.
Sarkos heteras, which is often translated strange flesh, but actually is referring to flesh of a stranger or flesh of a visitor. Again, referring to aggressive sexual activity toward someone who is visiting and should be considered a guest.
Once again, Sodom and Gomorrah, inhospitable, very.
Now, the word kadesh or kadashah is referring to either a male or a female prostitute who in some way was loosely connected to or turning tricks close to a sanctuary of some kind. Literally, the word means holy person.
So a kadesha's sin is actually other gods and prostitution, nothing to do with sexual orientation. Now these are used quite a bit. However, to use these to condemn homosexuals today is a gross misrepresentation of what the Bible actually says. Leviticus is a strict law code for rabbis. It forbids eating rabbits, pigs, and touching their carcasses. It also forbids eating shellfish and tells you you can't be anywhere near, you can't touch a woman while she's menstruating. This one's fun, actually. It's actually very ironic. This is Paul writing a letter to the Romans, and he's in the middle of a satirical rant when he says this. You can imagine Stephen Colbert. And after he's done, he says this about the people who say things like this. Therefore, thou art inexcusable, O man, whosoever thou art that judgest, for wherein thou judgest another, thou condemnest thyself. He's literally saying, don't say stuff like that because this is what's happening. So, literature and religious doctrine have influenced humanity often, and the Bible is no exception. Excuse me. So the Bible is being misrepresented and misused in this case, and it's causing great, great harm for people. It is completely unfair that this entire demographic is being oppressed when 32% of the world professes Christianity, and this is what they're being taught. So we need to educate everybody about the truth. All right, thank you.